Hello friends, this is the Sun Woman. Thank you for joining me on my channel for your readings for the new moon cycle in Capricorn, which covers the period of January 17th through to February 15th. So sorry for the late upload. Very busy few weeks since the beginning of the year, so I am still catching up, but I did want to be able to get some of these messages out to you, for the next 30 days in case they are helpful and in case they do resonate. If you would like a 6-month reading, please go ahead and click on the book reading now link in my banner above, or you can contact me on my Facebook page or Instant Go as well. Just so you know, my readings are not like anything that you may have experienced with other readers. Yes, I do provide you with a 45 to 60 minute tarot reading that covers, any questions or concerns you might have about your personal situation. But I also do a natal chart on you, and I will give you a 6-month forecast of the astrological energies and the major transits that are affecting you over your natal chart. So this is very specific to you. And I also give you 6 months of affirmations so that each month you have an affirmation to focus on, to empower you and focus you in whatever you may be dealing with or whatever may come for each of those 6 months. Okay, so that's why I call it Holistic Tarot, because I am answering your questions and I'm also giving you a full picture of what's going on in your life and what you can expect coming down the road. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and go ahead with the reading. This reading is for my Libra friends, Libra Sun, Moon, and Rising. So, Libras, this is definitely a relationship reading. There's no question here. There's really no other room for interpretation. You have the Two of Cups at the base of the deck, which does talk about partnerships, relationships, emotional relationships, romantic relationships, marriages, long-term partnerships. And the affirmation card that I pulled for you is, it states, I surrender to a power greater than me. So what this does tell me is that, in a relationship situation, with a current partner, twin flame, soulmate, whatever kind of partnership that you're in right now, it's going to be important for you to kind of allow what is going to happen and understand that whatever the circumstances are in your current relationship, they are ultimately going to be for your higher good, okay? Or the outcome of this situation is going to be for your higher good. Surrendering to a power greater than me. So this does not mean that you're surrendering to another person, okay? I want to say that and clear that up. So if someone is treating you badly, I'm not saying, just let them walk all over you. Or, if you're in a relationship situation and you are uncertain as to, how that person feels or where the relationship is going, it's more of the energy that knowing that the universe has your back here and that there may be a higher message or a higher calling as far as this relationship is concerned. You may be in this relationship to learn something that you need to move you forward on your spiritual journey, on your your life journey. So basically, if you encounter situations or developments that are outside of your control, don't try to fight them. Don't try to control the situation, because as I look at the rest of the cards here, I do feel like there may be developments that are going to kind of bring you situations where you may need to let go of control, or that you, as I said, you may not have control. It may be that you have to kind of just wait and see what develops in the relationship. Don't try to meet fire with fire if you're dealing with someone who is hostile, or if you find out that someone has treated you badly. or there are revelations, you know, don't meet fire with fire. Kind of accept as whatever comes to pass this month. Take it, deal with it as best you can, as peacefully as you can, and understand that eventually you will understand why circumstances happen the way they did here. Now, let's get specific. We have the moon in reversed. With that's in the position talking about the recent past. That could be as recent as, you know, 2 weeks ago, or a month ago, or 3 months ago. And so I do feel that many of my Libras, it may have may have received information that at some time was hidden, or you may have discovered something that you were not aware of, or conversely, things that you have been involved with or done may have come out recently in public view, or have been revealed. And this may have either put you in a bit of a awkward situation, a difficult situation, as far as if it is your own actions that have come out, you know, that people were not aware of, or maybe that a partner was not aware of. Or it is possible, you know, that if you learned something about a partner's actions or something that they were doing behind the scenes, you know, you are kind of left trying to figure out, what do I do now? What's my next move? Okay. The moon reversed brings secrets out into the open. And often, you know, these are things that we would prefer have stay behind the scenes, but it is what it is. And if it's out at this point, there's nothing that you can do about it. There's nothing you can change, you know, except to now do the damage control that you must do and try to move forward and either heal the situation or release yourself from the situation if it's no longer something that you can live with. The Knight of Swords is reversed, which is the current energy as you're listening to this. This Knight can represent a air sign. That could be that could be Libra, such as you. It could be Aquarius, could be Gemini. But definitely I'm feeling like you are coming up very strong in this reading, because you have the Knight of Swords reversed here, and then you have the Queen of Swords in the near future. So how I interpret this is that right now you're not very happy with someone, okay? You are not feeling them. There may be arguments, there may be a lot of conflict. You may have already cut ties or be in the process of cutting ties or want to cut ties with someone. You know, you may have let them know exactly how you feel about them. So, you know, you may have, once this information came to light, you may have reacted, you know, from a very dark place, an angry place. And so I feel that, you know, some of you are holding on to anger and perhaps bitterness right now. Right now you're coming up as the Knight of Swords reversed. So that's not a king, it's not a queen, it is a knight, which is more of an immature energy. And so, you know, if we react off the cuff and we don't filter ourselves and we kind of say the first thing that comes to mind and you know, allow our temper to get the best of us, that's not really a mature energy. That is more immature version of ourselves, regardless of how old you are, okay? Whether you're 18 or 80, you can still be a knight by your actions. I feel as though some of you want to kind of just escape, maybe run away, start a new life, begin again somewhere else. But there may be emotions still tied to someone, even if they've done you wrong, or even if you are wounded. And you may be reluctant to detach yourself emotionally. So you may have, you know, left that person's space or cut them off, cut communication with them, you know, told them not to contact you anymore, but that doesn't mean that you are not still tied to them emotionally. And that's why even with this energy, this difficult energy, the Two of Cups is still coming up at the base of the reading, at the base of the deck, because for better or for worse, love is still there. The emotional connection is still there. You still feel something for this person. You are still tied and connected. This could be a soulmate connection. This could be a twin flame connection. You know, there's a lot talk about twin flame energy right now, and I don't really go into detail about that unless it makes itself very clear to me. And so in this reading, I do have to say, Libra, that I get that twin flame vibe, especially because there are a lot of swords here, and the twin flame energy is not easy. It's not an easy path that we take. You have, though, yourself coming up in the near future as the Queen of Swords. So, you know, this could represent you really kind of rebalancing, getting a grip, getting a handle, getting back up on your feet, and going back into that air sign energy where, okay, I allowed this situation to knock me off my balance and out of my peace. You know, I've said everything that needed to be said. Now let me get back on my let me get back to myself. Let me get refocused. Let me refocus my mind. And regardless of what's going on in my relationship or with someone else, I have things I have to do. Okay, I have to stay focused. I have, worlds to conquer. I have my own life, and I have truth that I have to live, and I have to live in my truth even if someone else is not living in theirs. Okay, so you're coming up as the Queen of Swords in the near future, and that area, that particular placement represents for me, say, the next 10 days, so between now and the beginning of February. And so I really feel a strengthening, a refocusing. I think some of you will decide that you really want to spend some time alone. I love that panther is there, because you might be spending it with a pet that you love, a cat or a dog, or even a loyal friend who is going to kind of come and be by your side during this difficult time that you may be going through. Also, for me, that Black Panther represents stealth and strength, cunning, ferocity. So it's like, you can, I feel like maybe you were knocked down by this situation, but in no way are you down for the count. Okay, you are trudging forward, charging forward with your sword raised up. And I love this Queen of Swords because, yes, she's sitting in a meditative state. She is focusing, but she has her sword raised up, and she, it looks as though she is receiving messages from the universe, okay, from that moon, which could be like a new moon, because I only see a sliver there. So often that represents a new moon. So really, during these next 10 days, 10 to 15 days, I see you really regaining your balance and moving forward. Now, I have to mention that there is a full moon eclipse on January 31st in the sign of Aquarius, who is your co-air sign. So this could be a very significant and positive full moon for you. Now, this is also a blue moon. So it's a blue moon, a full moon, it's a super moon, and it is also an eclipse. This could be a very powerful time, huge life changes, big events that could take place and completely change the landscape of our lives from where we were a week ago or a month ago. Okay, so use this energy to your advantage, that if you are trying to start fresh, start new, charge forward, grow spiritually, or just in any area of your life, this is going to be a good time for you to do that. Okay. But also be careful about, making commitments right now. Leave the energies kind of open, because things are very unstable around the full moon eclipse. So the 10 days that we're in right now, prior to the full moon, and 3 days after, wait till after those 3 days. So we're talking about like February 3rd, 4th is the best time, when all the energies have settled and you can really move forward. Now the the Page of Swords is crowning the reading, and again, you have mostly Swords cards here. This Knight of Swords, Queen, the Page, the Five of Swords, and the Nine of Swords reverse. So crowning you, but let me just say this, even with all of these Swords cards, remember what the affirmation card is saying to you. I surrender to a power greater than me. So sometimes the universe doesn't see us moving forward where it feels that we should be. And it will present us with circumstances that kind of push us. It's like people who say, I learned how to swim when my uncle pushed me off the diving board, or pushed me off the pier. That's how I learned to swim. So for that few split seconds, you were afraid, you were terrified, you weren't ready at all, but then you started to swim, you started to stroke, you took a deep breath, and that's how you learned, and you've never forgotten. Now, yes, if you didn't swim, your uncle was there, he would have jumped in, or someone would have jumped in to save you. But they watched you, and they watched you closely, and eventually you started to swim, and and now you're a swimmer. So it's the same kind of energy, where there's something that you need to learn and understand and experience at this point on your journey, and the universe is watching over you, but it's also pushing you and sending you situations in order to move your growth forward. Okay, now the Page of Swords is showing up here, so it's interesting. You have all of the court cards except for the King showing up in this reading. For me, this Page of Swords in this position, which is the advice position, is telling you to watch very closely what's going on around you. Kind of sit back, and it's also the similar energy to that Panther that I was talking about in the Queen of Swords card. Kind of watch, wait, see what goes on. Again, I mentioned doing the same thing around this period until after that full moon eclipse, because there is information I feel that's going to come through to you. You're going to learn more, you're going to get more of an understanding. Someone may reach out to you with a message or with more information. There may be a conversation that someone wants to have with you. This may not be, it may not be hearts and flowers, okay? I'm going to say that because the page is a Page of Swords. So it may be information that could be hard for you to take, but it's going to be the truth, okay? And ultimately, whether it is bitter or sweet, you want to receive the truth. You want to know what the truth is so that you can move forward, so that you know where you stand emotionally, in your life, on a practical level, where you're going to be and what you're going to be doing and who you're going to be doing it with. You want to have that understanding, okay, without any smoke screens or gaslighting or any of those other things. So without any lies. You want the cold hard truth now, because then you can create the life that you want. Now, what tells me this also, again, is that there's communication coming through, is that Eight of Wands right next to the Page of Swords, which is a communications card. And it's also interesting for me because the Eight of Wands also talks about progress, like moving forward. It's also, and I read this somewhere recently that, which was not the way that I was interpreting the Eight of Wands, but it totally makes sense. Often the Eight of Wands is an energy that things are still in development. So things are happening right now. Things have not settled yet, but the situation is still in development. So keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. You know, wait for information to come through to you, and then you can process that. I do feel that whoever you are dealing with, whether it's a partner or friend or relative or whatever this connection is that may have been a cause of some heartache for you, this person is about to make some kind of progress in their life. I don't know, you know, getting back to that twin flame energy in that situation, you may have been waiting for a partner or someone that you're involved with, or a twin flame who you have been estranged with, to make changes or to make a decision or to come back, okay, to you, or to end something that they are currently in. You know, that this person could be with a karmic partner right now and that situation is breaking down, and they are starting to now wake up and make plans to remove themselves from that situation, or to move forward, or to change their life. Some of you, this could be someone at a distance from you, okay, who is going to, you know, take a trip and you know, maybe coming back to you, or you know, traveling overseas perhaps. I do feel that, you know, with the Five of Swords here as the obstacle, you feel, you know, you're feeling defeated at this time. You're feeling like, you know, either someone or the situation has gotten the better of you, and you know, maybe that you don't even want to deal with this person anymore. Maybe you're fed up. You know, you're tired of maybe being treated unfairly and not receiving what you feel is due to you. But I want to say that, you know, and maybe you're tired of the struggle, you're tired of betrayal, if there's been betrayal, you're tired of waiting. But the thing about the Five of Swords here, which I love on this deck, is that there's an angel, and this angel is standing in the middle of the battlefield. And it's as though, you know, the battle is over, and now she has come to bless the victor, the person who is still standing. Yes, you may have taken a lot of losses, you may be wounded, you may feel like you're mortally wounded, okay? But this angel is here, and she's here to bless you, to watch over you, perhaps to heal you, and definitely to protect you. So know that even if this situation feels like a defeat, there is a blessing within it. There is a blessing that is going to make itself clear to you. You are being protected, and it is not as bad as it could be or could have been ultimately. And I feel that by the end of this new moon cycle, around the 15th, maybe the week before, within that week, you are going to be able to finally let go of a lot of the angst and stress and anguish and pain and heartache and all that, you know, things that the anxiety that you may have been experiencing in relation to this connection. I think those things are going to be able to fall away. The Nine of Swords is there and it's reversed. And so for me, it's like letting go of your burden, letting go of your stress. You know, some of you may decide you want to just be on your own and you're not going to deal with this situation. You're done with this situation. Now, I do feel that it's not yet completely the end, because again, the Two of Cups is there, and for me, the Two of Cups, it still signifies a connection. The connection is not broken. You know, it's not the Five of Cups where the connection is broken, the relationship is over and there's nothing but regret. There is still something connecting you. And so you are being asked or advised, you know, at this point to sit back, watch, see what develops. Be open to someone who wants to communicate with you. Even if you are afraid of what they have to say, listen to what they have to say, because it may be that they are now transforming in some way. Their life is changing, and it's going to be a different situation than it was before. All right, but you had to go through this dark night of the soul situation, and ultimately I feel that at the end of this new moon cycle, you will be letting go of a lot of that anguish, you know, those sleepless nights, that anxiety, and there will be a glimmer of hope, some kind of news, or, you know, just once you surrender, it's as though the surrendering to the situation is the win. Okay, that's what the Five of Swords is saying. Surrender to this situation so that you can win, so that you can be the winner here. Okay, so I do hope that this reading's been helpful to you. I would love to hear from any of my Libra friends if this resonated with you. Thank you so much, as always, for spending this time with me. I would love to do a private reading for you, so please contact me. And until then, I wish you all good things, love, peace, and joy, and I bid you namaste.